I'm Ifrah Ahmed. I'm based in Somalia. I'm a Somalian activist. I work campaign against practice on female genital mutilation. Today here in the conference, we've been talking about since 2019, beginning of COVID. We believe since COVID, the FGM has been increased in Somalia and elsewhere. For example, in Somalia, we heard a lot of story that the cutters, they were going door to door to cut the girls because during the COVID, the lockdown has actually increases young girls to being cut. So families, they're off school and the Holy Quran, the girls stay at home and the cutters take opportunity to cut those girls. So for us as activists, and also I was living in Ireland, I'm Irish citizen as well. I couldn't go in the grassroots, but as the international community left it in Somalia, we had the opportunity to bring the medical students, nurses, midwives, to go on the grassroots to educate the community. Because we all know that before COVID, we've been active over the years and been, educating the community. And then all of a sudden there is a COVID and everything have shifted. And then the community started to actually say, okay, your daughter is at home, and the cutters didn't have much to do. And then she take opportunity to say, okay, now the girls are at home and I can earn money because there was no more jobs for her. And then she went to doors. So it was really heartbreaking to see that young girls, they were cutting in during that time. But also we have achieved a lot because we had midwives and medical team who was going into the community. And then the saddest part was when the international community, they left in Somalia for the lockdown. So we had it that our own people to start to engage with the community and raise awareness, including the face mask and washing hands and how to look after yourself and things like that. But the good thing is that Somalia, there are a lot of cases on female genital mutilation. But the good news is that last 12 months in last year, there was zero that. There was 28 girls was cut in same day. 8 of them, they were bleeding and they were brought to hospital. So I live in Somalia and I had an opportunity to travel on the village where the girls were cut. When I went to the family, I asked same question for each mothers and I say, what made you to bring hospital to your daughter when she was cut? And they all say same things, that they say the girls was bleeding and they were scared because they heard story about many young girls who have died for bleeding, and that made them to bring hospital. So I can say that I was very proud. At least we have saved many girls, including those 8 girls who were bleeding and they brought it to hospital. But I'm very sad that the FGM is increased in the medicalization, which is now the family sees that cutting at home is a danger than going to hospital. And now we have to go back again to educate the doctors and maybe educate them and let them know that this harmful practice should not be practiced. And Somalia, FGM is practiced 98%. And I'm glad that today here in Women Deliver, it's happening in Africa. Because in Rwanda especially, it's because, when you look at the international community, we always talk about the issue related to Africa, and we actually go to whether it's America, whether it's, Vancouver or elsewhere, which is North Africa. So this is really makes different that, we in Africa and especially in Rwanda, that we actually talking about the issue that related to the African women. I share because my own personal experience. I got through female genital mutilation when I was 8 years old, and it was really horrible. And growing up, actually, I faced a lot of medical consequences, especially when I was growing as teenage, getting my first time period. And now again, as a mother, also I have the challenge of female genital mutilation. So what have motivated me to go is that as an Irish refugee that time, I felt that the hospital, they asked many questions about what happened to you, how did you get this injured and all that. And that is what make me that if this is my experience, it's experience for many women from African countries who come to Ireland, then I started to raise my voice to save the voiceless of young women who cannot speak out. And it leads me today to become an international activist as I am today. I think that this is an African issue, and we need our African leaders to basically speak out. Like if Western world, they listen my voice and they want to make a difference, why my own African leaders cannot listen what I say and cannot make a decision? We have the IGAD, which is the East African governmental authorities. We have the African Union. We have a lot of African organizations that are actually here, especially our leaders. So we need our African leaders to listen to our voice and make a difference in terms of female genital mutilation and gender-based violence. We actually, if I go to America or elsewhere, the United Nations or whoever is organizing events, they listen to my voice. I want my own people to listen, to make a difference. We are talking about our own, daughters, future daughters, wives, and grandmothers, the children that are actually freely born on freedom of life. We are talking about. But when our government, they are elected, they say they're going to do A to Z. But once they go on their seat, then nothing happens. So I want that really our leaders to hear us, to make us different. We are tired of being talking. The last meeting was in Vancouver in 2019, and there was a COVID, and 4 years have been lost there in terms of engaging with all these beautiful people. But now today we are actually reunited here in Rwanda, and what I want to see at the end of the day, a lot of progress and how we can move way forward to end on female genital mutilation.